Frieza, the galactic terror of Dragon Ball Z, a man who can easily burst stars and move thousands of times faster than the speed of light. One of the great villains of anime or manga, one of my favorite villains of all time. With his army completely gone, he has his sights set on the Clover Kingdom of the Black Clover universe. The Clover Kingdom, who has the magic stones, Frieza's hoping to use these magic stones to give himself immortality, or at least hoping it is possible for him to do so with them. I am mentioning an objective here for Frieza because, of course, he could easily just wipe out the Magic Knights by just coming in and blowing up the entire planet. But then, in this scenario, he runs the risk of destroying those magic stones, so therefore, he actually has to fight the Magic Knights of the Clover Kingdom. And so I need to say, this is not the Black Clover universe that Frieza has to fight, just the Clover Kingdom, and only the ones we know of. And I'm kind of mainly using current ones. Now, I will be using Prime Julius, not the current one, but I will not be using Prime Licht or Prime Lumiere, so that is something I will just let you guys know. I want to make this video, guys, to question how strong the Knights are as a group when they team up, and see if they could stop Frieza, who is a terrible threat, and would be a terrible, terrible threat in Black Clover. I also want to say this will have Black Clover manga spoilers. Not way too much, but there will be some. But if you guys do enjoy this video and want more videos styled like this, then please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. So now that we got the scenario set up, we need to talk about the power of said characters. And let's start with Frieza, because he's going to be easier to scale, because Dragon Ball is a bit easier to scale to Black Clover, and, you know, Frieza's only one guy. Frieza is easily above a Planet Buster, which is proven when he casually destroys Planet Vegeta with the wave of his finger. While in his weakest form, too. In fact, Planet Vegeta was also scaled to be at least 10 times bigger than the Earth, I believe, and this actual feat has been overall calculated to be a Dwarf Star level feat. Frieza did this with the power level of 530,000, and in his final form, he has a power level of 120 million. This makes his final form roughly 226 times stronger than his base form, meaning Frieza should have at least star level attack potency and durability. Now when it comes to speed, he is quite fast too, as Raditz can easily be scaled to be a light speed fighter, since Piccolo's blast that destroyed the moon was at relativistic speeds. If Raditz is light speed, we can do simple math to determine a baseline for Frieza's speed. 120 million, Frieza's final form power level, divided by Raditz's power level of 1600 equals 75,000 times. That's the difference, meaning that Frieza's combat speed is at least 75,000 times the speed of light. Now, of course, power levels are a weird thing. Some people say they just work exponentially in the beginning, but once you get to the level of power where Raditz is at, power levels are changed to be more linear, while some believe they always work exponentially. Now, there is evidence for both, but the only way we can truly gauge them is if we use the linear way, as if we assume they work exponentially, we can't really exactly calculate how big the increases are, since we don't know how much the exponential rate that it grows by. So we have Frieza being a star level attack potency and durability, striking strength, and also being 75,000 times faster than light, which puts him well above the massively faster than light plus tier. This, by my calculations, makes him far stronger and more durable than anyone in Black Clover, at least in the conventional sense, and also faster than any Black Clover character as well. But he is not as much faster than them as he is stronger than them. Black Clover is a bit closer in speed. Frieza, one thing is, he's not that great of a fighter at this point in the series. As you may know by now, I'm not using Frieza currently in Dragon Ball Super. That would just not be fair at all. And so, Frieza at this point in the series, not much of a fighter and cannot sense ki. So he's not going to be able to sense these Magic Knights. He's not going to be that great of a fighter. He'll just be way stronger, way more durable, and way faster. And I do want to say, people are going to say, oh, you're putting the entire Black Clover universe against Frieza. That shows your bias. Well, actually, Dragon Ball is my favorite series still over Black Clover. So I'm not giving a bias here, but Dragon Ball is just a way more powerful verse, and I don't like doing versus battles unless if it can be close. And I do think that Frieza versus the Magic Knights can be somewhat close, and also Perfect Cell, if he was in this situation, it probably wouldn't be close. If Majin Buu was in this situation, it would be a slaughter. If Beerus was in here, it would be a slaughter. So I don't like doing versus battles normally, where the disparity is vast. So that's why I'm picking Frieza. And no, it's not biased. I like Dragon Ball more than Black Clover. It's my favorite anime or manga. But anyways, when it comes to the power of Black Clover characters, it is not known for its extreme levels of attack potency, striking strength, or durability. Some of the top tiers can only be scaled to a small country to continental levels of attack potency, which could also mean their durability is that as well. You could even possibly scale the ancient demon god to be planetary, based on lore, since he was going to wipe out humanity, but that doesn't necessarily prove that he's planetary. What this really means here is that the majority of the characters in the series are not going to be able to hurt Frieza, even in his weakest form. Fugolion, even with the Fire Spirit Salamander, he's obviously one of the most powerful characters in Black Clover, but his attack potency would do absolutely nothing to infringe upon the durability of Frieza. But really where the strength of the Black Clover universe is at, is that it doesn't rely on conventional attacks all the time. It has characters with hacks abilities that ignore the conventional rules of durability. For example, with Yami's Dark Cloak Dimension Slash, he can cut through dimensions or space. This isn't just a thing that you can cut very strong things with. It literally separates space from each other, separates dimensions from each other, which means that Yami, in theory, could cut any three-dimensional object. Same with Longros's offensive spatial magic. It erases space, basically by cutting away the space and teleporting it to a different dimension. Offensive spatial magic can only be cancelled by other spatial magic, anti-magic, and Yami's own Dimension Slash. The Wizard King, Julius Novachrono's time magic, is also a hack's ability, as it steals time from people, rapidly aging the body of said people. So basically, getting hit by Julius's time is a kill shot, as long as you're hit in a vital area. As one time it hit Patri in the arm, and it only just completely ruined his arm, did not kill him. Dorothy's Dream World is a hack spell as well, because it creates a world where she can completely control what happens inside of it. Except for, well, she can't just imagine you to die, but she can create said things that can make you die. Also, while residing in the dream world, the victim will slowly begin to weaken and fall asleep. So in theory, a deadly combo for Frieza would be Marx and Dorothy. Marx accessing the memories of Frieza through his memory magic and spawning in anyone that Frieza has memories of, the legendary Super Saiyan, or even worse, Beerus. Fragile Tormenta can use her magic to dull the senses of people by slowly putting them to sleep as well. Vanessa Inoteka has a spell called the Red Thread of Fate, which protects her allies from negative fates, meaning in reality her friends can die many times, but then the Red Thread of Fate will change the fate so they actually survive. So basically in this fight, Vanessa and the Black Bulls cannot be killed unless if Vanessa's mana is drained to the point where Rogue, the Red Thread of Fate cat, cannot be used anymore. But that's going to be really hard to do because of the healing and recovery mages like Charmy and Mimosa, and there will be many more in this battle scenario because this is all of the Magic Knights versus Frieza. When it comes to speed in Black Clover, it's actually one of its strengths. When you pair its hacks abilities with its speed, that's partially of what makes the Black Clover universe way stronger than many people think. Several top tiers should be in the massively faster than light plus tier of speed, which means they are more than 1,000 times the speed of light. Now, it's been a huge debate by the fandom on if light speed is even a thing in the series, and even who people say there is light speed, they say there's nothing faster than light. But recently with the reveal of the first Wizard King Lumiere and his return, it has basically shifted the preponderance of evidence far more to the side that faster than light speed exists in Black Clover. When Lumiere returned, he used his light magic to travel across the country at the speed of light, as stated in the chapter. So you have him basically moving several hundred miles in an instant. The chapter says he moved at the speed of light, so yeah, that shows he moves at the speed of light. But what's interesting there is, he did this with just a spell. He didn't use any forms of reinforcement magic. If Lumiere had used just basic reinforcement magic, he would be faster than light. If he used Mana Skin, he'd be even faster than just reinforcement magic. If he used Mana Zone, even faster than that. To top it off, Lumiere was also holding two people during this feat. So basically he was doing this feat while partially being weighed down by Finral and Sekret. But not even all of that is that, because Lumiere was also not even in his prime. He was in a statue body, basically a body of stone. This was not his real body. He was way weaker than in his prime. And this is proven when Licht, who only has one of his swords and has no grimoire, is equal to Lumiere still. So if this Licht is proven to not be in his prime, it is still shown to be an equal to Lumiere, then that means that Lumiere is not in his prime, because they are both stated to be equals in their primes. So this means that Lumiere would be way, way, way faster than light in his prime. This literally proves faster than light travel and faster than light speeds in Black Clover. Also, this is travel speed. Oftentimes in battle shonen, a character's combat speed is even faster than their travel speed, since combat speed is far more important, since the characters are always fighting. But the basis for the massively faster than light plus feat stems from this calculation linked below, where Mereoleona dodges Raya's copy light magic, which was calculated to be a FTL plus, or 95 times faster than light speed for Mereoleona, while she's not even going all out. This is also, of course, only assuming that Raya's light magic was just light speed. It would logically be even faster since Raya was stronger than Patri and surpassed him in combat, implying either Raya had more mana, or mana control, or even both over Patri. And this was a suppressed base Raya, stating to be like way stronger than Patri. So Raya was at full power here, and was using the additional power of the third eye, so it's very likely that this was more so a massively faster than light speed feat, because the speed feat is just based on if Raya's copy magic was only baseline light speed. But anyways, base Asta vastly outran the speed of Mereoleona's attacks later on. Now it's hard to calculate this because it doesn't really show exactly where Asta started from, but you can still easily say that Asta was several times faster than this attack, but we can just lowball it 2 times for lowball's sake, which puts base Asta at roughly 180 times the speed of light. And then we know that Spirit Dive as a transformation increases Yuno's power a lot. It is stated to be many times stronger in the guidebook. And it's not out of reach to assume that Black Asta would be somewhat of equivalent increase in power. And so if it's many times, which many times is greater than several times, I think that a 10 times multiplier should be stated or should be given, because it could be even more than 10. So I think 10 times is a good number. So that means Black Asta could be 1,800 times faster than light, putting him in the massively faster than light plus tier. Now this does not include Asta's unquantifiable increases from his limit breaks and his amped black state, but logically he would probably be much faster than only 1,800 times faster than light. Now I get it, Frieza's speed of 75,000 times faster than light is roughly 40 times greater than Asta's lowballed speed. Remember, there would be many characters roughly at this speed fighting Frieza, and several even faster. Asta, Yuno, Mereoleona, Nozel, Fugoleon, Yami, Luck, Jack the Ripper, and Noel, and even more. You would then also have dozens to hundreds of more characters, also in the faster than light to faster than light plus to massively faster than light ranges of speed that Frieza would also have to deal with. Not only that, but the support mages could make up a huge difference in the speed gap. Puri can use her wing magic to do an angel wing gift, giving her allies wings that gives them more mobility, agility, and more importantly, speed, which would give many people a speed amp. Finral's spatial portals would also give the Clover Kingdom access to teleportation, and when leaving through multiple portals in quick succession, it increases your speed. Vanessa's regular thread magic would also increase the speed of her allies, and would ever so slightly slow down Frieza. One of the most broken support characters in Black Clover, though, is Gauche. He has mirror magic and a spell called Real Double, where he makes a clone of himself which can do the same spells that he can. And then Gauche's arguably most powerful spell is Mirror Brigade, which creates 10 real clones of any person he chooses. Also, it is stated that Gauche's mirrors can reflect all light, no matter how strong, which means he might be useful against Frieza's death beams, which are stated to be made of light and faster than light. It stated that in the guidebook. So you could claim he might be able to block all of the death beam, and by proxy, Nozel's reflective mercury as well. Although, I am more so going to leave that as a possibility and not a claim. Unfortunately, Asta's role in this battle is more so a role of running around doing nothing. His anti-magic will not work on Frieza because he is inherently different than magic. But here's a scenario I see where the Magic Knights do succeed in defeating Frieza. One thing is that Frieza is very cocky. 2, he does not have ki sensing at this point in Dragon Ball Z, and he's just not a great fighter. He's not terrible, he's just not at the level of really good fighters. Meaning he could have a rough time tracking down some of the faster knights when there's a bunch of them coming at him at once. Of course, people like Asta and Yami with their ki sensing would be able to sense the drastic power of Frieza. Nobody else will be able to sense his level of power. but they could heed the words of Yami and Asta once they warned them. So Puri gifts her wing magic to Yami and Julius Nova Chrono, making them even faster. Vanessa pulls her threads around them to make them even faster as well, and Rogue extends her protection over them. Ghost then activates Real Double and creates a clone of himself, and then activates 2 helpings of Mirror Brigade, creating 10 clones of both Yami and Julius. 2 people with hacks that bypass durability. Now Yami was just as fast, if not faster, than Ant Black Asta in the manga. Ant Black Asta, who would be far faster than 1,800 times faster than light. With Mana Zone, he would be easily several times faster even further, and so both Julius and Yami also have forms of precognition, meaning they can anticipate attacks that are much faster than themselves. So even though Frieza would still likely be faster than Yami and Julius despite their speed amps, like the wings from Puri and Vanessa's threads, he would have to go against their precog as well, and fight 20 of them at once. They'd also be abusing Finral's spatial portal. Finral's spatial portals would also logically be able to cancel out Frieza's attacks, as it would just teleport them away. Also, Fragile, using her stone magic, would slowly be dulling the senses of Frieza. So this means 20 different mana zones from Julius and Yami. This means a massive machine gun-like spam of spells that can damage and kill Frieza. Imagine Julius's killing spells being spammed, and Yami's Dark Dimension slashes being spammed. Like I said, Julius's time-killing spell and Yami's Dimension Slasher hacks that should work on Frieza. All of these would also be coming from many directions, because that is what Mana Zone allows you to do. I don't guarantee this strategy does in fact kill Frieza, I just do think it likely would, especially since Fragile's snow magic would be slowing Frieza's senses. Dorothy might even be able to get Frieza in her dream world, which, like I said, that paired with Marks would be a deadly combo for Frieza. And this is assuming that Frieza starts off in his final form. Frieza, in his first form, has a power level of 530,000, meaning his final form is 226 times stronger, and thus 75,000 times light speed, divided by 226 equals first form Frieza only being 330 times the speed of light, which still would be relatively fast in the Black Clover verse, but he would now be outnumbered by people much faster than him, which would really change the dynamic of the battle. So I do think that if Frieza was in his first form, they could blitz him, having multiple Yamis, multiple Longresses, multiple Juliuses, all doing their 3-dimensional hack abilities, could probably kill Frieza in his first form. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the Clover Kingdom easily defeated first form Frieza if he stayed in his first form, whereas if it was final form Frieza, I think they would win 6 times out of 10. So I think it'd still be pretty close, but that strategy that I thought up of making clones of Yami and Julius will be quite broken against Frieza. Not to mention the way the Black Clover power system works, where you gain new spells that fit the situation when you've been working hard, have inborn ability, and you really need them. With there being dozens to hundreds of mages here, the likelihood that a few would get very powerful spells to fit this situation is really likely. Yami has a 5 out of 5 in limit breaking. He went from losing to a guy who he had an elemental advantage over in Patri, to fighting 3 guys at once, each being far stronger than Patri, and Yami fighting them with a broken sword, and he still held them off. Every single time Yami has needed to break his limits, and the fight wasn't interrupted, he broke his limits. Yami, paired with Vanessa's Red Thread of Fate, could be absolutely broken, as he would just keep getting brought back to life by Vanessa each time he would be killed by Frieza. But this would keep giving him limit breaks and potentially new spells. So like I said, first form Frieza, that's probably an easy team effort win for the Clover Kingdom. Final form Frieza would be much harder, but I still think they could pull it out. I do need to mention that this all depends on how you scale Frieza. There is anime filler scenes where Goku is like way faster in his base form than final form Frieza is scaled in this video. But that is anime filler. So it kind of depends on if you take that. Sometimes, I don't know. But at least this is a lowball estimate, because I also did lowball the Clover Kingdom speed, because you can lowball them to be way, way faster than that. And I also do want to say that this is a situational battle. If it's just a straight up battle, it's going to be easier for Frieza, because he can just destroy the planet and he wins. In this, he needs to not destroy the planet and fight conventionally so that he can get the magic stones. So if you take away the situation, he wins. But in this situation, I think that the Clover Kingdom can fight him off. And also, I think people might say, well, Ki protects against magic. And, I mean, I try to look into it, and magic is not really in Dragon Ball that much, but I don't see how Frieza's Ki it's going to protect against a Dimension Slash or being aged in time. I mean, Dimension Slash cuts 3-dimensional space, so also offensive spatial magic is probably going to be hard. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Frieza wins, or do you think Magic Knights can stop him? Let me know your thoughts. Please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...